Hi, I'm Regina Huber, founder of Transform Your Performance. The topic and leadership trait of this video is inclusiveness. Inclusiveness, or the lack thereof, finds its expression in so many ways. It's even hard to decide where to start and where to end. If we Google inclusiveness, we'll find definitions like the practice or policy of including people who might otherwise be excluded or marginalized, such as those who have physical or mental disabilities and members of minority groups. This is, of course, quite a simplistic definition. My view is that the word disability in itself is non-inclusive, because we don't really know what the abilities of the so-called disabled people are that we don't have. Right? But back to the general term inclusiveness. Isn't inclusiveness also about allowing and respecting different views and opinions, different styles? I believe it also includes the deep cognizance of bias, awareness of my own biases, and a conscious way of dealing with them. Inclusiveness is not just about being allowed to be there, but to contribute and to be listened to. It's about equal opportunities for all, and then giving all the freedom to do with these opportunities as they choose. Or as some say, it's not just about being admitted to the event, it's about being invited to dance. And I would add, to say no to the invitation to dance. So we're told that inclusiveness is about being invited to speak up and participate, about open communication. I think inclusiveness is more than that. It's about the implicit understanding that everyone should have that opportunity just because. Yes? So, but for that, we first have to self-assess as leaders. What are our real beliefs about that? Are we being inclusive because we're expected to be inclusive, because it's asked of us? Or are we doing it because we want to? And this requires honesty. If we had a choice and wouldn't be judged for it, who would we want to participate the most in our team? And why? I think true inclusiveness starts inside. It starts with self-awareness. It starts with a deep process of who we really are. Are we our nationality, our skin color, ethnicity, gender, or are we our essence? And if we are our essence, why is not everybody included anyway? Just because? Do we usually look at others as a category, a member of a community, a piece in a box? Yeah. Or do we look at them as humans with the same essence as us and their own individuality at the same time? I think these are important questions to ask, because not all the individuals in the categories we tend to compartmentalize people into think or act in the same way. They don't necessarily hold the same values. People may be a part of a group in our minds, but they are not the group. These are important aspects for leaders to reflect on long before they can call themselves inclusive leaders. And then, of course, we need to create a trust-based environment where it feels safe for people to participate and contribute and to speak about their own needs too, and to have them addressed. In order to be an inclusive leader, you need an open mind. You must know how to actively listen and observe and be committed to doing it. Inclusiveness requires a certain level of cultural savvy, of exposure to other cultures, and ideally also languages, knowledge of religions, of gender-related and race-related topics, other countries, and whatnot, for sure. Admittedly, we cannot know everything, but we must bring a certain basic knowledge about these areas to the table. Yeah, and we must stay curious. And I would say one of the reasons why we need to have this knowledge is so that we can open our minds to different possibilities, to different views, opinions, and so on. And we must also be willing to admit that we don't know it all. and especially that we don't know it all about the individuals of the groups we form in our heads. Inclusiveness is also about how we lead and direct meetings. Does everyone get a chance to speak up, even if they are introverted? Can we make sure all get a voice without pressuring people too much? Do we need to change our way of encouraging people to participate maybe? Can we use a tool like, for example, on a weekly team conference call where we could introduce a practice of going around and asking everyone on the call to share a word of the day, or one celebration, one challenge they need support with? In our one-on-one meetings with team members, are we asking enough open-ended questions? Are we asking the right questions? Inclusiveness is both an attitude and a skill. There are techniques and there is CIQ, conversational intelligence, that helps us be more inclusive. And conversational intelligence is the topic of my next video. Watch out for it. And in the meantime, feel free to reach out and ask me anything about inclusiveness at regina@transformyourperformance.com, whether it's about my qualification to talk about this or the topic itself. And as I said before, inclusiveness is both an attitude and a skill. But most of all, it's an inquiry. I'm here to inquire it further with you, to drive this inquiry forward, so that sometime in the future we may not even have to talk about it.